in this session today. In the program today, we are having a very special person, someone that have many feathers to her cap, and is an entrepreneur by excellence, and she has done so many things. And I don't know if you permit me to also say you are a politician somehow. And
Yes.
so we're going to be having an interesting session today. We'll be having conversation around, politics, business, so that you'll be able to share your experience with a lot of upcoming entrepreneurs, as well as, some of those people that are, trying to come into politics, so that, you know, some of those experiences, because we know that you participated in the elections, these 2023 elections. And so it's proper for us to hear your views on what the issues are, um, as well as your experiences and all that. So before we continue, maybe you just do our audience a favor by just telling us who you are, so that, they can meet you officially.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Osai Ilome. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so I should introduce myself officially. Okay.
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
simply Nanman Philemon Kash. Um, I'm an author, a nurse, a health and wellness coach, and a transformational speaker. And I
Mm.
have interest in making our society better. And basically, that's how I'll just simply describe myself.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, I think, like I said, I wasn't wrong at all when I said that you are someone that have many feathers to your cap. You know, a transformational speaker, an author, a nurse. I mean, so much. So much feathers to your cap. So once again, we are so happy to have you on the program today, and like we have advertised, we want to look at post-election issues. We want to look at the 2023 general election, and possibly what are the lessons that we as individuals and Nigeria as a whole can take away from it. And so um, we'll start by, because there is an issue that also been a very big challenge before the election, which is the issue of insecurity. And for someone like us, we were a little bit hesitant in terms of traveling, but we discovered that the presidential election and the governorship election, you left your station, uh, for your state to participate in those elections. So can you tell us what was your experience like? How were you able to brace these insecurity challenges, and travel and participate? We know Plateau State, Jos in particular, is a hotbed. So give us a sense of, you know, what was your motivation and how your experience was like?
Okay, I think for the election, a lot of speculations were going around. People were afraid to travel. Some had already traveled weeks before the election because of fear of whatever would come out from it. But I think when it comes to security, is a thing of the mind. It starts from your mind. Then let me debunk this. People always believe that justice is on fire. There are people
Mm,
that around them, around here, when you tell them I'm going to just, they'll be like, that just that is on this and this, but that is just a mere wrong perception about Plateau State at Jos. Let me tell you, if you're
okay.
in Jos right now, the kind of traffic you will see, the way life is bubbling in Jos, you wouldn't even know that is that same plateau or same Jos people are talking about. So, but my journey to go for election, like I wrote in one of my write-ups, I said, for the love of country. And as a person, for the love of your society, you are passionate about a better society. And
Mm,
for us to have a better society, we must do need to do. And as citizens, our first role is to participate in these processes. And that was one thing I did. It wasn't just during the election. I know that holistic view, in particular, the concept it's nice uh, voter education. Initially, we started with the youth in the local government on voting education. Then last year, March, is almost like exactly a year ago, we had
mm,
the political summit where we not just we brought the voters and then the politicians together under one roof to discuss issues as it affects the citizens, women, people with disability, voter buying, the roles of the politicians, what do the voters needed to do. So it has been a process for me, and I think it's something I'm so passionate about. If I'm to describe it personally, that if we need a new result, we must do something new. And that was it. We can't just sit there and say there's insecurity. The roads were safe.
yeah.
So it was a successful one and
That's
peaceful one.
that is interesting. And you said your organization, the what do you call it now, the holistic view concept,
Yeah.
has been in the forefront, of uh, organizing um, voter education and other
Sure.
political awareness activities.
Mm.
So tell us, how is, were people receptive of this voter education, and how can you, based on this election now, because we're trying to do like a postmortem,
Yes.
based on your experience in conducting those voter education activities, do you think Nigerian voters have become a bit more, uh, how do I put it now, advanced in terms of holding political views, in terms of being able to um, identify, candidates that they should vote for? Give us a sense of your interactions and engagement with the voters. What do you make of them?
Okay, thank you. Great. Before the program for me was that there were a lot of misconceptions. People had different beliefs when it comes to election. I was interacting with one of my sisters and she said something. Somebody's poster, the man was looking so fine in his corporate wear. He was contesting for governorship. That was before the primaries. And then we were
Mm.
traveling with one lady. She saw the picture and she said, Kai, this man looks like a governor. That she just loved this man's picture. And because of that, this is the person she was going to support. Then again, we have people that were supporting certain persons, not because of their capacity, but because this person, I know somebody that knows this person, or because this person is related to this person, not minding the person's capacity. Can the person take us to where we want to go? Then the crux of the matter for me, for that program in particular, was I wanted we as voters to understand, and that was the major education that day, that okay, if I come out and say I want to be a governor, I want to be a councillor, I want to be a chairman of your community, I shouldn't just tell you that okay,
Mm.
because I am a woman you should vote me, or because I want to be this. I should tell you first, what is my vision? I want to take you to a place. As a leader, I must come with a vision. What vision? I must see ahead and tell you, okay, people of so place, this is my reason. This is where I'm
Mm.
taking you. Example, if you say you are taking me to Lagos, right? Let's assume that for somebody who is contesting, it's like taking me on a journey. And you say, okay, we are
Yes.
taking you people to Lagos, for instance. Then you should, as a contestant, as a matter of fact, should be able to describe to me, give me a picture of how Lagos looks like. You tell me, okay, it has bridges, it is like this, the people are nice, they are very social. Those, you're painting a picture for me. And that was my expectation, that
mm,
contesting for political position should be able to paint a picture to us.
to
Where
do.
are you taking us? That is your vision, right? Then now your mission. And that's how we explained. Okay, after the person should give you his or her vision for whatever position he or she is confident for. Secondly, you should be able to tell me your mission. How do you intend, how or what process would you, how would you take me to this, right? After painting the picture of Lagos to me, you should be able to tell me, okay, I'm taking you by road, we're going to so park, we'll enter either a bus or a taxi. This taxi will take us through this part. This is the way the road is. These are the hours we're going to spend. These are the things. So it's the same thing. If you want to be a political leader, you should be able to paint that picture to your people. I want to be a governor. You paint the new society, the new state you want your people to see. So how do you achieve whatever promise you're giving them? Don't tell them that you bring down heaven. They're able to tell the
Mm.
electorate, how would you bring down heaven? Don't just tell them, I will do this. There are a lot of
Now,
promises when it comes to election. So the major thing we kept telling voters that whoever is promising you whatever, let the person tell you how he or she intends to achieve that. So that is your mission. How do you intend to do that? So the vision and mission
okay.
must align.
Now, so thank you very much. Now,
Yeah.
from this election, now because the election has come and gone. Okay,
Hmm.
the election has come and gone. Can you hear
Yeah.
me? Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
sure. Yeah.
from from your assessment, and from the results that we are getting, do you think the voters um, actually absorbed this message that you were passing on to them? Do you think, generally speaking, that um, you know voters were able to differentiate between a politician or a candidate that has been able to market themselves adequately to the voters from those that were not able to market themselves? Do you have that sense that this election
A
kind
lot.
of showed that our voters has come to that point?
Yes, I,
Yes, go
it's,
ahead.
it's affirmative for me, because the general perspective of our politics has changed. The typical voter on the street
Okay.
is more well oriented than before, and is even more interested in politics. With what we saw during during the electioneering processes, the political processes, you know that a lot
Mm,
has happened, a lot of change has happened, that people put out their resources for whoever they believe in as candidates. Before now, people believe that, okay, is the highest bidder that will always want to do. But you saw that people were so passionate, especially, let me use my state as an example. You see how youths
okay.
came out, people were doing so many things, political activism, people were proactive in every capacity, even without any external motivation or maybe financial motivation or whatever it is. For whatever they believe in, they pursue that with all passion. So for me, a lot has changed. The political atmosphere is
Wonderful.
no longer the same.
That's interesting. So you talked about your state. So let's kind of do more analysis using your state as a case study. So tell us, because not everybody will be aware of the contestants in your state. So, but who has INEC declared as the winner in your state, and do you think that person reflects the wishes of the people in the elections?
Okay, for Plateau State, The person that INEC declared as a winner is Barrister Caleb Mutfwang, who just won the governorship elections. And you ask that do I think if that is
Which
the
party? Which
wish?
party?
Okay, People's Democratic Party. So you're asking that if that PDP,
Okay, PDP. Okay.
PDP, People's Democratic Party. So now
Okay.
you're asking if that was the mind of the people, or did INEC really
Yes.
have? The what I'll just simply say is that with the celebrations that were on the streets of Jos and all the local areas, and then with the way people were protecting their votes at every point, shows
Those.
that
Okay.
it
She's
is the
back now.
will of the people.
So, okay, we lost you at a point. So, can you repeat
Okay.
what you said?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, great. I said Barrister Caleb Mutfang of the PDP won, as declared by INEC. So with the celebrations everywhere, especially by the young, by the old, by women, by everybody on the street, I believe that that is the will of the people, and then the will of God, of course, because power comes from God ultimately. So for me, I think that with the way at during the voting processes, the way people were protecting their vote, even when INEC had not declared, you see people were just gathered around the INEC collation centers to ensure that nothing funny happens to their vote. So I believe
Mm.
that it is the will of the people.
Okay. Now, so the point you are making is that your conclusion is that when election is declared and you have some form of celebration uh, on the street, that could mean uh, it is the wishes of the people. Am I correct?
Hello, can you hear me? It's
Can you hear me?
like, okay, I can hear you.
Yes, yes. I'm trying
Okay,
to, yes,
it's
I'm
not
trying
a
to ask
conclusion,
you.
but you can see during the presidential after the declaration, the
Yes.
mood was generally. I don't know if you're conscious of that. Were
Okay.
people very
You are telling
happy?
me you are the guest, you are the analyst. So
Let me analyze the questions. Okay. It's, there's a way we say perception is virtually is it does a
everything.
thing. So the way
Mm,
people were during the presidential elections after the declarations, you could see how people were moody. The whole environment was quiet. It was like a disappointment to so many, because that wouldn't have been, and that was part of, maybe that was not the interpretation after voting, that was not the expectation of the people, and I think that contributed to some apathy during the governorship elections, because in some areas people complained that some people didn't go out to vote because they felt that the one they voted during the presidential election, the will of the people wasn't there. But this last one and this particular one I'm talking about in my state, I saw that the jubilations was virtually everywhere.
that is very interesting.
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. Now, so let's come back now to the presidential election because,
Okay.
like you said, after a declaration of that result, the country was like in a mourning state. Well, of course, that is relative because to some
Yeah.
people in other camps, it is
Yeah.
immaterial whether you have jubilation across the streets and all that. What has to many of them is uh, election, INEC has declared the winner, and that is what you. So I'll ask you now: we
Uh-huh.
have a president elect. what is your take on the character, the capacity of the president elect? And do you have this sense that he will be able to deliver the goods? From there, before we come into other electoral issues.
Okay, for the elected president, um, his character, I might don't know because a lot of propaganda stories were going up, down, this, that. But for me, my opinion is that I know the way I've heard about him, his performances in Lagos. I know that uh, His Excellency Tinubu is a proactive person, is somebody who is dogged that would have delivered. The only issues I have with him is his age now. And from the campaigns, when I saw the way there are times there are some incoherent activities, or when he was making certain statements, there was this incoherent kind of statements that were coming out. So it was I was worried about that. That okay, a younger version of Tinubu would have done very well as a president. But for his age, we can't cheat nature. There comes a
Yeah,
time in our age that there are things that we're doing now that we can't do. So now, considering that at his age now, I think he should have been like a mentor to younger persons, or somebody who advise where necessary. But I don't see him having that energy to handle the troubles of this country. I don't see him having that capacity to handle the stress that comes with the office of the president of a country. So that is just it for me. But if he were to be a bit younger, I wouldn't have had any
mm,
problem with it. But I know that he performed based on what they said. I've not lived in Lagos anyway. That he performed very well in Lagos. So maybe he would have come up with this and then put it at the federal level or for the entire country, Nigeria. But for his age, that is the issue I have. The electioneering current statements. So it means that coordination, he has issues with coordination,
all right.
his mental capacity. I don't know if he has that.
Okay. Now let's say, because for me, the taste of the pudding is in what? Is in the eating. Am I correct?
Sure, sure, sure.
Okay. So
Mm.
now recently we heard that he released a statement, because you know what happened during the governorship election in Lagos State, for instance, and you know, just yesterday we learned that he released a statement calling for healing, calling for peace, and some people were like, during this electioneering process, the governorship electioneering process, where we had so much of divisive, statements coming left, right, and center. So much of ethnic profiling that occurred in the course of the electioneering process, that he never released any statement to calm to douse the tension. But now, after the election, and his candidate has been declared as the winner, he is now asking us to be peaceful and to seek for healing. So, what do you make of that going into the future, thinking that by May 29th he will take the reins of power of leadership? What is your assessment of this kind of behavior?
Okay, it's so unfortunate on what happened in Lagos. Based on the videos, the clips, the statements, the divisive statements, and the ethnic profiling of people who had lived all their lives in Lagos. This one claiming Lagos belonged to us, Lagos is not yours, this and that. Some went for voting, they were sent away, some were flogged, some were injured. It was quite unfortunate. And there were a lot of inflammatory
Mm,
statements from some quarters that were highly divisive, that those people even needed to have been arrested. Because these are the things that it starts small. We don't know where it will end. Someone might just issue a statement out and might end up causing a big war. God forbid. So, but my expectation was that I expected him to have issued out a statement and caution those people because he's a highly respected person in Lagos. So if he had issued out a statement and say, all you people that are saying all these things, you are saying this, Lagos belongs to us, Lagos is all for this, that wasn't necessary. We'd have seen him more proactive in saying, no, I am dissociating himself from all those activities. But we never saw that until after the governorship elections. And now he's calling for peace. Well, it is not bad, but it's a bit too late.
It's a
So,
bit too
but the
late.
thing,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it's okay that he's saying that, but you'd have said that earlier, so that some of the activities that took place on Saturday wouldn't have happened if
Mm.
he, a respected man like that, had come out to say no, dissociate himself from all those people trying to say this, if you vote this person, if you're from this, those ones profiling people based on their ethnic uh, backgrounds. That was wrong. So
That
I
was
think
wrong.
as he's going to be our president soon, my desire is that I should see him more proactive. Let him be a
Okay.
president that is more proactive, not reactive.
That is very good. So let's quickly look at this other issue that came out. We're going to come back to election matters because we also understand that some people are in court. So we'll try to look into that. But I want to first of all, uh, ask you about the president elect and his conduct and his carriage and what Nigerians should expect. Recently, in fact, yesterday as well, we learned that, or this morning, that he had traveled abroad, for medical checkup or for rest, different version of why he traveled abroad. But the point is that he has traveled out of the country. And my question is, when will we come to the point that we will have a leader that will lead by example? To the extent that if you want to go for a vacation or you want to go for a medical checkup, you look for somewhere in Nigeria, to partake or to undertake such a venture. We have places like Jos, although Jos has been rattled recently by a wave of violence. Though you are saying that Jos is bubbling, I will be willing to accept an invitation to go to Jos and see for myself how Jos is bubbling. But again, my point is, we have Jos, we have Akwa Ibom, um, we have uh, even Osun State, a lot of tourist attraction centers in those areas. So when are we going to have a leader that will lead by our health sector, our tourism sector, by participating or visiting, you know, uh, taking their vacation or their medical checkup?
Okay, okay, by the way, Jos is still peaceful. Jos is very
Okay,
peaceful. So you're invited to Jos anyway.
okay,
At any time, you're always welcome.
that's
Jos is
fine. I accept the
welcoming.
invitation.
Yeah, you're welcome. So it's quite unfortunate when the news went around yesterday that the president-elect has traveled out for do we call it medical tourism, for
Mhm.
checkup with arrest, whatever. It was like we're back to the old system again. It is so unfortunate. Sickness or illness is something that anybody could be sick at any time, at any moment, right?
Yes,
But what we found out is when our own systems here can't be fixed for Nigeria, for everyone to have access to good health. But now, imagine now, if we go back to this old system that we are fighting, that we've been saying no to leaders going out there to access healthcare, leaders sending their children out there to for education, leaders doing things outside there. That is why the attention is not on this country. You go to our health facilities, you see that everything is dilapidated. We have challenge of manpower. They don't have equipments to work with, and nobody's looking at that, because when they are sick, the policymakers are not there to even say, okay, fine, can we push for this in so facilities or in these hospitals? They don't care because they are not there. So for us is that we need a leader that would lead by example and say that, okay, fine, in every geopolitical zone, let's start even from there. Let's make one standard hospital that has necessary equipment that whoever is sick, it doesn't matter your class, it doesn't matter your level, you can access whatever you want to access. Then that will start from there. But when we have leaders that will travel when they have headache, they travel, they don't even trust the healthcare system in Nigeria because they have never used that. Well, there's nothing wrong in people spending their money to go out there. But now we are calling on leaders to set example. Okay, fine. Let's fix healthcare. Let's fix our educational system, that it doesn't matter if my son or your child or the son of the president is in any of the government schools. You'll be the same thing with any child in any private school. Or instead of you traveling out to any other country, we have all those equipments. Can't we order those equipments and fix our own healthcare systems? Because I am certain, I am very sure that every day health workers leave the shores of Nigeria, and these people go out there to meet nurses trained in Nigeria. Nigerian nurses are met there in those countries. Doctors from Nigeria, you meet doctors out there, they are Nigerian trained doctors. So why? The only thing is to equip. We have all the human resources. All we need is for our leaders to equip these healthcare institutions. Let them equip all those institutions, and then we are home and dry. Because they go out there, it's Nigerians that will take care of them. The health workers are there,
Yeah.
because every day people leave Nigeria to those countries.
Now, so of course, you know that Nigeria is our country. We have no other country, and like what you have started doing, me to take you this before we come back to the politics. Then we'll go to business. We're talking about uh, how can we come to the point that at least in each of our region we have a good, medical facility, or a good tourism, you know, uh, you know, that permit me to ask, when that will be going on that strike, like similar associations or groups that
Hello, the line is breaking. I don't know if. Can you say that again? The
yeah,
line is breaking. Mm.
can you
I can hear you, but it's a bit breaking, but it's better now. It's better now.
hear? Okay, it's my, my own, going ahead. So, my own,
Mm.
what the like other work as organization to surrender to the to uh, it's not
The
like
line is
because
breaking.
you're so, so you, you
Okay, can you
can
hear me now? I think I heard you mention NS. Hello? Okay. It's like you're back.
I think uh,
It's like you're back.
okay.
Okay,
So
you're back.
yes, yes,
Okay.
I'm back. The network is crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
so sorry about that. It is in Nigeria, so we just have to
Yeah.
do what we have until it.
Sure.
That how can organizations and even your NGO help to set the agenda for this coming administration to pursue, this regional development of medical facility, world-class medical facilities and tourism centers?
Okay. There's a lot to be done, and I believe that government can do it alone. That as citizens, as civil societies, as organizations, we must be ready to partner, to join government, to help government in achieving societal programs that have positive effect on citizenry. Example, like you said, in achieving these health centers in all the 6 geopolitical zones. First of all, is for our leaders to understand that they must get a round peg in a round hole. Get the right people that understand this work, that are ready to bring solutions. Hello, can you still get me?